Hello, you guys. This is Politic Graham. Yes, you know the rules, you know the game. We have a lot to talk about today on this beautiful Monday. Yes, this beautiful Monday. Yes, yes. And before we start, the rules of the game is fair use, copyright. Disclaimer. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, commenting, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Hey, Joshua! Once again, repeat. Fair use, copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, commenting, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing non-profit educational or personal use. Tips to balance in favor of fair use. Hey, I am Jacob. Hello. Now, yes, there has been a lot going on in the world today, especially in the US of A. And today we're going to discuss Diddy and JAYZ lawsuit. Yes, Diddy and JAYZ lawsuit. I am Jacob says, blessings, Politic. Joshua says, hi, Politic. First, yes, you're first, Joshua, and blessings, I am Jacob. Now, I'm going to see how this go, you guys. You know how I do, look. I'm going to see, because I'm a little late. Okay, I'm a little late. But like I stated, we're going to discuss Diddy and JAYZ lawsuit. JAYZ suing Tony Busby, as well as Jane Doe. Yes, in a Diddy lawsuit, she has identified herself, as well as the update on Brian Thompson's suspect that's still on the loose. And the quote for today is, evil never sleeps. Evil, and I quote, evil never sleeps. And the reason I made that quote is because of what we discussed before. We talked about this gentleman right here who was caught slipping. And that is, quote unquote, Brian Thompson. He was caught slipping December the 4th, last Wednesday, when he was, you know what, pop by this suspect that is still, and I quote, still on the loose, okay? This gentleman right here, okay? And thank you guys for coming in. Yes, we're going to talk about this gentleman, as well as we're going to talk about Diddy. Yes, Diddy and JAYZ. Yes, JAYZ not playing. Okay, JAYZ told me to tell everybody JAYZ. I gotta show him, because we're talking about him too. JAYZ said he not playing. He said you can take that. You can take that to Diddy way. You can take that to the suspect who's still on the loose, who did what he did to the CEO Brian Thompson. But he said you not finna play with him. He said, you not finna play with him. And he also said, I put my family on there. You not finna play with none of us. You not finna play with none of us. And I have their faces blocked out because I don't want to get no types of suits my way. I don't need no lawsuits. Free says, I would help them identify the pop, but my vision care was denied by, ooh, the shade. The shade. Ooh, the shade. Let me pin that. Ooh, should I pin it? Free says, I would help them identify the suspect, but my vision care was denied by insurance. Ooh. Ooh. And this is why we're going to talk about a lot today. We're going to give an update. Hello, Rug. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for coming in, Rug. Thank you. Now, we got to give a breakdown on what's been going on. Update. Okay? And this is the guy that did what he did on December the 4th with Brian Thompson. Ruck says, love what you do, sis. Thank you so much, Ruck, and shout out to you. I got to pin it. Thank you so much, Ruck. Thank you so much. And like I said, shout out to Ruck, shout out to I Am Jacob, shout out to Joshua, shout out to Free YT. I Am Jacob says, Ruck, thanks for the membership. Welcome to the family. Thank you, thank you. Now, it's going to be a lot we got to talk about. We got to talk about it, ladies and gentlemen. All because of what Free YT said, okay? What Free YT said. Free YT says, I would help them identify the pop, but my vision care was denied by insurance. Now, in regards to this, we're going to break it down because that is one of the reasons they say this gentleman did what he did. Ruck says, thank you, Ed. I Am Jacob. Yes, thank you, Ruck. Now, we're going to break it down, some updates, okay? We got to give some updates today. On Saturday, there was a gray backpack found by the NYPD authorities, and they believed it was linked to this suspect that you're seeing right here. Linked. Backpack was found, okay? And they said it was found somewhere near where the suspect fled on an electrical bike. And the suspect was last spotted on 77th Street, and it wasn't until 10 blocks on 86 and Columbus where he dropped this backpack. Now, I'm going to give a little bit of, a little bit of something, okay, due to, want to make sure I want to give a little bit of clips coming in. I want to show some clips. And in regards to just to kind of give you guys an idea of what's been going on with this particular gentleman that you're looking at. Yes, he's the suspect. He is the suspect. Now, when it comes down to Eric Adams, the mayor of New York City, people have been speculating that he's been talking too much. Eric Adams have given details of the suspect's identity and are being held because they do not want to give any information. This is what Eric Adams has been saying. But here's the thing. People feel that he is talking too much. He's talking too much. I'm going to show a clip where he is talking too much. And thank you guys for coming in. Thank you guys for coming in. And here's one clip where it shows that he is talking, I quote, too much. Eric Adams. Going to show a quick little clip of this man talking too much. Talking too much.
It was an intentional act, and the manner in which they were able to follow his footsteps to recover evidence. Some of it is known, some of it is unknown, but the net is tightening, and we're going to bring this person to justice.
Now, the next clip, these are just clips of him talking too much, and people have been saying that Eric Adams has been talking too much, and this particular suspect might be near, because some people feel this was an inside job. Some people are speculating he did not do this by himself, and Eric Adams is not helping the situation in regards to this gentleman, the suspect. And the suspect you're looking at, he actually Pop, the CEO of United Healthcare, Brian Thompson, 50-year-old Brian Thompson. And here's another clip where Eric Adams was talking too much.
Share a possible...
We don't want to release that now. If you do, you're basically giving a tip to the person we're seeking, and we do not want to give him an upper hand at all. Let him continue to believe he can hide behind a mask.
Now, he's talking too much, okay? And this is what people have been speculating. I'm going to show one more clip where Eric Adams is talking too much, okay? And thank you guys for coming in. Yes, we're talking about this suspect, okay? And the suspect we're talking about, got to show who we're talking about for all the new people coming in, is this gentleman right here. He's been making headlines. Some people call him a hero. Some people calling him a monster. Some people say you better run if you see him, go the other way. Because as you can see, these are new images of this gentleman. And this particular image was him in a taxi cab. Yes, this is an image of the suspect that Pop, the CEO, Brian Thompson. This is the most recent clip of him, okay? And this particular clip is when he hopped into a taxi, okay? Okay, and this taxi actually was the taxi that drove him all the way to the terminal at George Washington Bridge bus station, okay? And that was the last time they have seen this man, and we are going into day number 6, okay? Day number 6. Now, let me go back. I got to show some more in regards to Eric Adams. Before we do that, I have to break down a little bit more about this particular guy that you're looking at. He's still unnamed. The authorities are not disclosing this gentleman's name, but according to Eric Adams, he's hinting they may already know this person by name, okay? They may already know this person by name. And according to, I'm going to read it, okay? There have been mass fingerprints. They have picked up mass fingerprints as well as DNA. Why in regards to this gentleman? Because we have to remember, ladies and gentlemen, okay, the day or the morning that he did what he did in front of the Hilton Hotel in Manhattan, New York, he dropped the water bottle, the Starbucks water bottle. In addition, okay, they found the backpack. They found the backpack on December the 7th. They found the actual backpack itself. So these are things that the authorities, they have mass fingerprints as well as DNA. And not only from the backpack, but from the jacket, because he actually, you cannot make this up, he switched jackets. Yes, he did. He quote unquote switched jackets. And on top of that, he dropped his cell phone, a burner phone. Okay, these are things that the authorities already have. And last but not least, we have to take into perspective the hostel that he was staying at in New York. Okay, and he stayed there, according to the authorities, 10 days. 10 days. And the gentleman that we're talking about is this gentleman right here. This is the most recent picture of him. And this is how he looked on the actual electric bike, okay? This is the clip. This is also a clip, okay? In regards to all of the surveillance, they have hundreds of images of this man. Hundreds. In addition to, as you can see right here up top, is the backpack that they found in Central Park. Yes, this is everything that they have. They have a lot of things, and we're going to break it down. Now, according to the department chief of detectives, Joseph Kinney, he stated that the New York City mass surveillance cameras throughout the city has helped police trace the suspect's steps after the incident of the crime. And according to them, the suspect first traveled by bike. After he did what he did, he traveled by bike and exited the Upper West Side of the 77th Street in New York Central Park. Next, he was seen on the 86th Street and Columbus Avenue walking. And that is where they stated where he got rid of this particular electric bike. And around 7 a.m. on the Upper West Side, and was seen on the video at the Uptown bus station about 45 minutes later when he got the taxi. Remember when I said he got a cab? Yes. And that's when the cab took him to 178th Street on Broadway, where he went to George Washington Bridge, the bus station. Authorities say also the cameras show the suspect entering this station, but he never left. He never left. And to this point, they don't know where, accordingly, from what they're telling us. Okay? They don't know what bus he took or anything. However, from when I did my research, right? The particular bus station that he went to, they saw him entering. According to authorities, there's only 3 places he could have went to if he hopped back on a bus to go out. And that was Philadelphia, Washington, D.C. Okay? I want to make sure I'm right. Yes, 3 cities: Philadelphia, Boston, or Washington, D.C. So this is where we are at this point. And also, they said they're not sure. They're still not sure if the bag that was found is the suspect. Why? Because they have to do DNA testing. And forensic scientists, this is just how wild this is. Once they found this bag, they had to scoop the whole area up. They scooped the backpack up as well as everything around it to preserve DNA evidence and made sure no human hands even touched it. The New York City subway system runs right underneath this terminal in which the suspect went to, this bus station. According to John Mahone, who is a retired captain of NYPD, he stated if the suspect got back onto the Greyhound and subway system, like I stated, there's only 3 cities that goes out from that terminal, which is what again? Philadelphia, Boston, and Washington, D.C. Also, going down, and thank you guys for coming in. Also, the suspect, it shows, according to this map, I want to make sure I show you guys the map. According to this map, it shows that this suspect has been pre-planning this based off of how he moved on the day of December the 4th, Wednesday. As you can see, his first move, it seems like he was double backing, as they say. And this also goes off of what the former retired, I want to make sure we're on this, what the former retired NYPD captain, John Mahone, stated himself. It seemed like he doubled back. And according to, they say New York City has 8 million people at one time, and Manhattan alone can have 2 million at one time. Lulu says, I'm happy he got, whoa, Lulu, woo, Angel. Hello, you guys. Angel said CEO was the dime. Whoa. And see, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys can read what's going on in the chat, this is why people are speculating that this was set up. This was pre-planned, because a lot of people are very upset with how the insurance treated people. Okay. United Healthcare treated people. Okay, if you guys can see what's going on in the comments, right? Now, Stock says, who needs JAYZ and DIDDY? We have Vanilla Ice still. Stock, thank you for coming in. And we're going to talk about JAYZ, yes. Before we talk about, yes, we're going to talk about it. And that's why the quote of today, I got to make sure I reiterate it. If you guys know, come to my page. I always give a quote every day. That's why the quote I have, evil never sleeps. Evil never sleeps. And this even goes in regards to JAYZ, because I feel like they really trying JAYZ. They're really trying JAYZ right now. Lulu says, how many people had to lose access and insurance? They have money that's why we need insurance, but they make it harder for us. And thank you, Lulu, for coming in. And I'm glad that you brought that up, because last live we discussed Yes, we did. We discussed some issues in regards to lawsuits. Yes, lawsuits in regards to whom? The actual victim himself, Brian Thompson, the CEO, or should I say the former CEO now of United Healthcare. Okay. Now, I want people to understand this. There was a lot of controversy with this particular insurance company that Brian Thompson had been under and working with for over 20 years. Okay, according to my research, the company has also been under investigation by the Department of Justice itself for potential antitrust violations. United Healthcare's parent company, United Health Group, was recently sued, okay, and in regards to 2.51 billion acquisition, okay, of a home care provider. Brian Thompson himself had reportedly sold over 12 million worth of stock prior to the investigation, raising questions about insider trading. And see, things like this is why people, a lot of people don't have, sympathy. A lot of people do not have sympathy for what transpired, okay? They don't. Because of the victim himself, Brian Thompson, I'm just going to be honest, from when I did my research, allegedly he was currently in a lawsuit. He had 2 lawsuits because he was associated and affiliated with United Healthcare. This gentleman right here. Okay? And I want to make sure I read. Star says, I feel bad for his kids mostly. Losing a dad is rough. Yes, it is, Stocks. It is. And a lot of people are, some people don't feel sorry. Like I stated, some people don't feel sorry for what happened because Lulu says, you have the facts. Yes, I do. Thank you for coming in. Yes, Lulu, I do. I have the facts. Because at this particular point, a lot of people do not feel sorry for this gentleman. They don't. And I really don't like saying it like that. I really don't want to put it out there like that. But based off of the research that I did, I mean, this man was making $9 million a year. He was making $9 million a year. And people were getting denied in regards to the insurance. Okay? Now, when it comes down to this particular person that we're talking about, this is Brian Thompson, the CEO that was pop December the 4th last week. Who did this? Who did all of this? We got to stroll. We got to stroll down and see. It was this gentleman down here walking around in a backpack, still unnamed. And according to what happened, you can see it for yourself. This particular gentleman, it looks like it was pre-planned. It looks like it was pre-planned because at 6:44 a.m. on December the 4th, the victim, Brian Thompson, was walking alone towards the New York Hilton Hotel, Midtown. And that is when this gentleman had already been waiting there 10 minutes prior to Brian Thompson coming at 6:44. He had already been waiting there. Waiting for him. Okay? He was waiting. And that is when he runs up behind him and use his pop-pop. I gotta say it that way for YouTube guidelines. And after he did what he did at 6:46 a.m., that is when this suspect, this unnamed suspect, he ran to an alley. And I want to make sure you guys see this, what I'm speaking of. He ran to an alley between 54th Street and 55th Street. And as you can see, this is where the Hilton Hotel is. This is where he was, right? Okay, then he goes up this way, towards the street. But look what he does. And I want to make you guys understand this. Instead of him going straight, he goes where? He takes a right. He goes through an alley. He takes a right. Stock says Stock says, vengeance is mine. Whoa. Lulu says, I hope people keep him hidden. He did what we all wouldn't do. Whoa. And see, I hope you guys can see what's going on in the comments, because this is how people are feeling. A lot of people are feeling, okay? No compassion, or as they say. And as you can see, with this map, okay, after he did what he did, he started to zigzag. He started to zigzag because this is where the Hilton Hotel was, right? Then he starts to go down an alleyway, but then look what he does. He crisscross and goes this way. He's zigzagging, because if anybody who's from New York, okay, if you look at the map, why didn't he just go straight? No, he didn't go straight. Instead of going straight, he zigzags. Then he goes all the way, and I want to move his face so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So you guys can actually see what I'm talking about. Instead of him going straight, he zigzags, okay? Once he's at West 55th Street, he continues to walk on the 6th Avenue, where he hops onto an electrical bike. This is where he gets the bike. And from then, what does he do? He rides north on 6th Avenue towards Central Park, this way, right? And notice what he's doing, because like I stated, he could have just went straight, but instead he zigzags. He zigzags, right? And then at 6:48 a.m., that is when he's still riding the bike into Center Drive. So he's already up here now. And by the time he gets up here, what does he do? He loses the bike and catches a cab. Now, remember what I stated. All of this happened at what time when this incident happened? It happened at 6:46. Why? Because at 6:44, Mr. Brian Thompson was walking past Hilton Hotel in Manhattan. Right? And thank you guys for coming in. We're going to stroll down. We're breaking this all down. And the gentleman we're talking about is this unnamed suspect. And some people feel that the mayor himself, Mayor Eric Adams of New York City, has already told this person too much. Because he's been talking to the press, he's been talking to the media too much. Too much. And thank you guys for coming in. Thank you guys for coming in. And Angel says he zoomed out of there. He surely did, Angel. He got out of there. And like I stated, he was really on the run. And I want to make sure, I want you guys to just understand how fast this person was moving. And this is why I feel, now you guys can let me know, this is why I feel this was pre-planned, and this is, I don't think he did it by himself. I don't. And I'm going to show you why I don't think he did it by himself. I don't. And thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button. Now, when it comes down to, like I stated, they found a gray backpack by using a drone. Okay, when did they find this gray backpack? They found it this weekend on Saturday, December the 7th. And authorities are still searching for the actual device that this suspect used. And why am I calling it a device? Because they're not even sure if it was a quote-unquote pop-pop. They are speculating that it was something that veterinarians use, okay? They're not even sure, okay? And they have been searching the Central Park. They have been searching the Central Park twice, 2 days straight, okay, in the actual pond within Central Park, because they are looking for the pop-pop. They have found the water bottle. They have found the cell phone. They have found the quote-unquote alleged backpack. And the only thing that they're missing, the two key components that they're missing now, are the suspect himself, as well as the device that he used, okay, to do what he did with the CEO. Now, as far as the reward goes, we got to break it down. When this happened, the police released a $10,000 reward. However, over the weekend, the FBI added an additional $50,000 reward. So now the reward, ladies and gentlemen, in total is $60,000 to find this man. Okay, to find this man. And when it comes down to what's been going on, it has been chaos. But people have been saying Eric Adams himself needs to hush, be quiet. Why? Because from December the 7th, he's been doing interviews. December the 8th, he's been doing interviews and throwing out hints that they already know allegedly who the guy is by name. Case in point, on December the 8th, Eric Adams stated, we are getting closer and closer to catching the CEOs. You know who? Forensic science have been pulling DNA tests, can be found. Okay. However, the question is, with the DNA test that they have, will they be able to find this guy? Because according to what a forensic scientist said, the DNA test may not be good if the suspect himself does not have a criminal background history. Right? Now, how has this impacted everything? Right? How has this impacted everything? Okay, within the matter of 6 days since this man has been on the loose. Okay? This has impacted, yes, insurance companies. And I know people out there are probably like congratulating, yes. But according to reports, certain insurance companies have been affected. Why? Because they're scared. Now, some of these companies have removed personal information or even the identification of executives, okay, executive leaderships off their bio pages from their websites. And some of these places include CVS, Atrium, Medica, CareSource, as well as United Healthcare. And last but not least, Medico, located in Minnesota itself. I want to make sure I talked about that. Located in Minnesota itself, has shut down its campus. Now, a lot of people are kind of, a little frustrated with Tim Walz himself because of the statement that he made in regards to to show his condolences, because United Healthcare is in Minnesota. Now, I want people to understand, when it comes down to Tim Walz, he is the governor of Minnesota. He also was the pick that Kamala Harris had picked to be her vice president, right? And after Brian Thompson was actually hit, Governor Tim Walz released a statement. He said, "This is horrifying news and terrible loss for the business and healthcare community in Minnesota. Minnesota is sending our prayers to Brian's family and the United Healthcare team." My question to this is, what is Tim Walz talking about? Because according to everybody, United Healthcare has been messing people up. According to people, United Healthcare has been denying a number of people, and even right down to the Department of Justice, they are in a current lawsuit. Okay? Sorry, they sued. Not current, they sued United Healthcare, to the point, however, United Healthcare ended up winning that lawsuit. So I want people to understand, I don't know what Tim Walz was speaking of when he said that this was a horrifying news and terrible loss for the business and healthcare, when healthcare itself is already being damaged. Okay? Now, moving forward, we're going to talk about even more in regards to this unnamed suspect. Okay? This unnamed suspect. And like I stated, with issues in regards to Mayor Adams, Eric Adams himself talking too much. I want to make sure I show. Yes, I want to make sure I show. Give me one moment. I want to show the actual. Let me see here. I want to actually show this gentleman right here. As you can see, just going to show you how fast he was moving. He was like really, really speeding on this electric bike, and how he was moving after he did what he did to Brian Thompson. As you can see, I want to make sure I go. Now, this right here, this clip right here, you can actually see his face. This is where he was flirting. Yes, he was flirting with a female at the front desk of the hostel that he lived in for 10 days prior to December the 4th. Yes, prior. Ruck says, have to leave to work. Will listen along. Keep up the fight. Yes, thank you so much. Great work. Y'all be great to each other. Yes, thank you so much, Ruck. And shout out to Junkyard. Thank you for coming in. Angel says, if he gets caught, his downfall would be flirting with the girl putting the mask down. Woo! You guys are not playing no games. You guys are not playing no games. Now, when it comes down to this gentleman, as you can see, he put his mask down. And I also want to make sure we stand on this. The specific hostel that he was located at, it is called the American Youth Hostel, okay? Where he was for 10 days. Yes, 10 days. And I'm going to play how he was moving that day after he did what he did between 6:46 a.m. and after. Now, as you can see right here, this is when he's walking the street right here. Okay? And it's showing how he was looking, he was carrying, and right here this is when he was in Central Park on this e-bike, okay? On this e-bike. Zooming. Hello, OG Brand. Thank you for coming in. Thank you so much for coming in, OG Brand. Now, as you can see this, I'm going to play it one more time of the gentleman that we're talking about. We're talking about this gentleman. This gentleman is still on the run. And thank you guys for coming in. Yes. And he had his mask down. I also got to talk about that. Because according to people, he always had his mask on, even at the hostel place that he was staying at for 10 days. Okay? He had it covering his face. And the only time he didn't cover his face was, for one, the first day he came, when he was flirting with the front desk clerk, a woman. And then for two, when he was actually eating. Yes, when he was eating at this hostile location, okay? And now you finna see the clips again in regards to him walking the street with this backpack on. Yes, with this backpack, going down the street with this e-bike after he has done what he done to Brian Thompson. This is on the same day, December the 4th. This is after. This is him heading towards to get a taxi, okay? And I want people to understand right here. Oh, we're breaking this down today, ladies and gentlemen. We're breaking this all the way down. As you can see right here, what is missing? The book bag, or should I say the gray backpack, okay? That is missing. And I want people to also understand he has changed attire. He's changed jackets, okay? Because if you can go back, we gotta bring it. If you can remember, this was the cream color jacket that he initially had on, right? But then as he's on the run right here, he has changed the tire. In addition to changing the tire, he has dumped his gray backpack. He has dumped his phone, his burner phone. And last but not least, he has changed attire. Yes, changed attire. And thank you guys for coming in. Now, when it comes down to all of this mayhem, yes, this is chaos. Pure chaos. And I want to make sure I break everything down to a T for you guys, okay? Now, when it comes down to Sunday, when he first arrived, we're breaking it down, ladies and gentlemen, of this suspect. 10:11 p.m. The suspect arrived Sunday, November the 24th in New York. Okay? That's when he arrived at the terminal. Okay? And that is when at 11 p.m., the suspect took a taxi to the area where the Hilton Hotel was located. The suspect was at the Hilton Hotel for almost around 30 minutes. So we got to make sure we understand this. The day he came off of the Greyhound bus, okay, and arrived in New York at the bus terminal, okay, he went to the Hilton Hotel. This is why people are saying this is pre-planned. Because soon as he got off the bus, he headed to the Hilton Hotel at 11 p.m. Okay, 11 p.m. Now, I want people to understand this. I'm going back into the comments. OG Brand says, politic, no problem, sister. Thank you. The suspect at the Hilton Hotel he was there for almost 30 minutes, like I stated. And he ended up going to the American Youth Hostel located on the Upper West. That is when he used allegedly a fake ID to check in. Okay. And because he didn't check in on time, the system automatically checked him out. So he had to check back in November the 30th. While at the hostel, the suspect stayed with two roommates. And roommates were saying that he kept his mask, like I said, he kept his mask on and only lowered it when eating food. Law enforcement authorities stated that the suspect also lowered his mask to flirt with the female, just like I stated earlier. And one guy by the name of Mantis Toronto, okay, Montios Toronto, he was also staying there at the hostel. He stayed there. And I want to show a quick interview with him where he stayed there. And he gave a description just how busy it is and how this particular unnamed suspect could easily be seen and not seen at the same time, because according to Mantios Toronto, he didn't even see the guy. He didn't even see the guy all the time he was staying there. And I'm going to actually show a clip of what he stated, okay? Because according to him, I want to make sure I read it before I show the clip. According to him, he never saw the suspect personally because he did not sleep in the same room as the unnamed suspect. Toronto stated how the rooms in that place can hold a large number of people. And Toronto himself, he is from Brazil. Okay, so I'm finna actually show a clip of the gentleman that I'm talking about that was at the actual place that the unnamed suspect had stayed there for 10 days. And it is this gentleman that you're looking at on the far left side. And I'm going to play a clip of what he had to say, as well as right here. These are some actual clips of how the place looked inside. And thank you guys for coming in.
Right, so the hostel is actually really crowded. There are a lot of people there, so they divide like rooms to, I think, 4 to 10 people. But in the hallway,
4 to 10 people in one room.
Yeah, 4 to 10 or 12, 4 to 12, yeah. So the hallway is just simple. It's just the doors that go to the rooms, the shared rooms.
Now, right here, you can actually see, like I stated, right here, each of these rooms can hold 4 to 12 people. That's just how crowded this place can get. And I think that's one of the reasons the suspect chose this particular location. And this is why I say this had to be, this is my personal opinion, it was pre-planned. This is my personal opinion. Now, also, okay, we're going to continue. According to authorities, Brian Thompson had came to New York December the 2nd, 2 days prior to him being popped. Now, why is this important? Because the unnamed suspect came to New York by bus November the 24th. November the 24th. So he had to know that Brian Thompson, he had to know his schedule. Had to. Now we're going to give a quick little breakdown, okay? 5:30 on the day of December the 4th, the day this incident happened. 5:30 a.m. The suspect left the hostel, okay, on Wednesday. 5:41. He was seen wandering around, pacing, okay? Pacing back and forth until he ended up at, I'm going to highlight it. He was heading towards Starbucks. At 6:17, that's when the suspect ends up going at Starbucks to buy bottled water and 2 protein bars. At 6:19, the suspect heads to a deli on West 55th Street and appears to be walking and briefly stopping by a pile of trash. Now, why is this important with this trash? Because now authorities are searching. Why did he stop where he stopped in regards to the trash? Okay? All this is coming for looking for DNA, looking for fingerprints. 6:30 a.m. on the day of the pop-up, December the 4th. Okay, the suspect was seen using his phone that was later found. 6:44, Brian Thompson, the victim, walks towards the Hilton after leaving his hotel across the street. And while all this is going on, the suspect is already there waiting. And by the time 6:46 comes, that's when officers respond to a 911 call. Why? Because the suspect has already done what he planned. Now, I want people to understand what is all going on at this point when it comes down to this suspect. He's still on the loose. He is still on the loose, and the reward is a total of $60,000 if you find him. And thank you guys for coming in. Junkyard says, I am sure they know who he is by now. Yes, just a matter of getting tipped to where he is. Yes. And hello, Melinda. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for coming in, you guys. Now we're going to move forward. Got to move forward to the big episode that has been going on, and that is, quote unquote, yes, you see it. Yes, you see it, JAYZ. And this is very wild because JAYZ is now in a DIDDY mess. Unfortunately. He's now, unfortunately, in a DIDDY lawsuit. You cannot make this up. And if anybody can remember that this particular attorney, Tony Busby, he is suing, okay? When I say suing, he's representing over 122 accusers planning on suing Diddy, okay, on a civil lawsuit. And the reason I'm saying planning, because when it comes down to this particular attorney, he has been having some bumps along the way. And the reason I say he's been having bumps along the way is because back in October, he said that he was going to sue. Okay, 122 of his clients were planning on suing Diddy. And to the point, he also gave a heads up that he was going to reach out. He employed the FBI to reach out to him, okay? To reach out to him due to so many people that he's representing. Now, how does Tony Busby come into play with all of this? Because now you have JAYZ. Yes, now you have JAYZ in the midst of this. And on Sunday, excuse me for the typo, on Sunday, December the 9th, okay, JAYZ was added to an original lawsuit that was that only had Diddy's name in it. Okay, originally. And the lawsuit was filed under New York's Victims of Gender Motivated Violence Protection Act. Okay. Now, when it comes down to this lawsuit, it has, like I stated, JAYZ, aka also known as Sean Carter, in addition to Diddy, both of them. JAYZ was very upset. Very upset. But first, I'm going to give Diddy's response. Diddy's attorneys, they have been giving out more responses than making moves when it comes down to, quote unquote, getting him out on a bond. But here's another response. Diddy's camp. They said, according to this new allegation, is shameless publicity stunts designed to attract payments from celebrities who fear having lies spread about them, just as lies have been spread about Mr. Combs. Okay? As his legal team has said before, Mr. Combs has full confidence in the facts and the integrity of the judicial process. In court, the truth will prevail that Mr. Combs would never aid or traffic anyone, man or woman, adult or minor. Now, with this particular lawsuit, I'm going to do this. Let me do it this way. I'm going to come back in about maybe 5 or 10 more minutes. I'm going to come back. Give me about 5 or 10 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. I will be back, okay? Once again, give me about 5 or 10 minutes. I will be back. And thank you for coming in. Shout out to Ruck. Shout out to Junkyard. Shout out to Melinda. Shout out to Angel Rodriguez. Shout out to OG Brand. Shout out to I Am Jacob. Shout out to Manuel. Shout out to Lulu. I will be back in about 5 or 10 minutes. Give me a moment because I will start the next live. We will be talking about straight Diddy. Yes, I repeat, we'll be talking about straight Diddy first. And thank you guys for coming in. Let me make sure I said all the names. Shout out to Ruck. And thank you guys for coming in. I will be back in about 5 or 10 minutes. Once again, thank you so much. Bye. I'll be back. Oh, Archie says like 13 for my anchor. Thank you so much, Archie. Thank you so much. I'll be back, ladies and gentlemen, in about 5 or 10 minutes.